What's up, guys? Time to show off a cool Kraken build. This will probably be what I have available Wednesday coming up by itself. This is a white cerakote and red cerakote. Okay, Google, volume down. Let me get this where I'm not hitting my stand very much. So it took a very long time to actually get the white and red inlaid because we have to do the white first, actually the red first, bake it all in, and then apply the white. And before we bake it, remove the white from everything raised. So it can take some time. So white and red cerakoted Kraken dial, white handset with a lollipop seconds hand. I did a white case on it with a white cerakoted crown and caseback. Then in red, did the full band. Got your Kraken logo here and here, and the caseback ring. And then obviously the bezel was done in a mix of red with white. So it's the same thing. You do the whole thing in red, bake it, then do the whole thing in white to where it goes down in there, and then wipe it off from everything raised, and then bake it. So it's a bit of a process. We've tried to have this out for a while now, and we finally just got that. Oh, another cool thing for Valentine's Day, the wife got me a new wedding ring with the things I don't like to mess with in the movement. Gears. So very thoughtful, but that's not stuff I want to ever work with. It's if you ever get into it, you'll unless you really like that kind of thing. I can see how it's kind of cool, but I'm always like rushing, and I break stuff. I break stuff when you go, you got to be really careful with that, and make sure you just do a little turn here and use a special tool. I'm like, nope, I'm going to just snap the head off, and then we can drill it out and then do it again. So I'm that guy. So some of these take a little while longer than others to do. But that's the build, full cerakote. There is also a stainless steel movement holder in there and a signed rotor. You just can't see it. I still do stainless steel on cerakote builds because the normal plastic ones that you get are, although they're a little bit thicker, and they won't let the movement really move. Not that the stainless steel ones do, but stainless steel inside stainless steel, it does have just the tiniest bit of play. You wouldn't really notice it unless I told you have it there, because things are kind of locked in. The crown and the stem are holding things too, but it's not like up and down, play. Maybe just a slight bit left and right, just a slight. So sometimes it's better to use plastic with those because it's a little bit thicker. But when you use cerakote, now that's the thicker thing, so you need to use the thinner thing. So it's just kind of isn't as cool to go, yeah, there's a really cool movement spacer inside there, a movement holder, and you just can't see it. But it's in there. Bezel will turn left, it'll turn right. It is on there decently tight. It will not move unless you want it to move because it's got those dual layers of cerakote. Automatic mechanical, so you can wind it, you can wear it, you can put it in a watch winder, but if it's dead or you're not going to be very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit. And how you do that is you back the crown off the threads until you hear it and feel it clicking. You'll notice it is off the crown tubes. You'll feel a little bit of play there, but more importantly, you'll hear it and you'll feel it. So then you'll wind it, and a wind is a turn that way. Turning it towards you doesn't wind it, but it is a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and go like this. If you do these, I start threading it back on. And I feel like it takes me a lot longer to do this than just going back and forth. Now granted, I'm probably only doing quarter to, maybe third to half turns, whereas this feels like it's maybe a little more solid. But you can wind it however you want. But if you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, that mixed with the rotor movement in the back will keep your time throughout the day. But if you're going to be driving or sitting at a desk or something like that where you're really not going to be moving at all, where that rotor's moving, just go ahead and wind it for a little bit longer. 10-15 seconds. You can't overwind it, so it doesn't matter. You can wind it all day if you want. It will only accept so much to the mainspring. But then, as it's uncoiling, you're going to have a 31-hour plus power reserve on it. And so when you're happy with your winding, you're going to pull it to the 1 and only click. At that point, you can set your time. It does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going on you. So don't worry about that. You'll also notice you've got a wobble crown. That little bit of play there. That deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement, and it also, once this is screwed in, will not transfer an impact to the crown into the movement through your keyless works. So it is a design feature, not a flaw. I've had people go, I think the crown's going to fall out. Something's wrong. I'm going to have to send all you guys a video. It's not. And once you get used to this, when you get a watch that doesn't have a wobble crown, for me, I'm like, oh, it's so stiff and rigid. Is everything all right in there? Like, why is it so tight? Oh, it's supposed to be. Okay, cool. I'm just used to. It's a different kind of tight. Okay, Google, what time is it? 4:56. You're good. You're going to push it over. Get it out of that time setting. And just wind it down. That is the build. As with every build, you're going to get matching beads. The wife's like, it's white and red. I was like, right? She goes, what else do I do? I go, I don't know. What other colors are you trying to add to a white and red watch? It's like, I don't know. It just feels odd that we're just doing white and red. It's like, yep. The white and the red, the other thing that's a little odd is these are nice beads. None of them are like the hematite style. Like I normally do a lot of like silvers or like a black silver. If you've seen those, they're like hematite. It's just funny whenever you're buying some of these beads, what people will call them, and you're like, is it the silver? Am I getting the dark silver? What am I getting? But those are normally pretty heavy. These don't really have anything too heavy in there. It's not that this is necessarily light, but it doesn't have any of those like natural metal looking beads in it. And I happen to have one red Kraken box, so that's cool. So not quite the same red, but it's red. As with every build, you're going to get watch cleaner. Now this is my new watch foamer. A little bit will go a long way. You're going to mix that with your microfiber. Spray it, wipe it down. This is good for all glass and metal, so basically this watch as a whole. And then you'll also have some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It's like Polywatch. It's for your acrylic glass because you can scratch it. But if you do, you'll put a tiny bit of this on it and you'll buff it out using your included microfiber, which matches in color. If the scratch is up and down, just go left and right, filling that scratch, haze it, buff it out, and you are good to go. And then on top of that, if you scratch the cerakote, that's a lot different. If you get through this red, you're going silver. If you get through this white, you're on silver. So just don't do that. If you wouldn't do it to your car, don't do it to the watch. So don't rub it on concrete or block or, don't rub it on things like that that are that hard of an abrasive. So, but that's the build. If it's going to you, congrats. Like I said, I believe this will be a Wednesday event. I just did Kraken 230. Technically, I've got one that I just finished for tonight, so that's 231. So that one should be 232, I think. So if it's going to you, congrats. Thank you for your support. I hope you love it. I don't do too much with red, so I've done maybe 3, 4, 5. Not very many. I've done 230 Krakens. I can count on one hand how many reds ones I've done. So, but going to you. Thank you so much for your support. And if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe because I put them up all the time. Thanks.